Hoppers is a brand new Disney Pixar original movie featuring a character named Mabel, and she is a huge animal lover. She loves animals and wants to do everything in her power to keep them safe while also keeping alive the memory of her grandmother because her and her grandmother had an unbreakable bond and they had a special place called the Glade. But when the Glade becomes threatened by a mayor and new highways being built, Mabel must step up and save her and her grandmother's special place, while also becoming a beaver. The thing I love most about this movie is the idea. The idea of loving nature so much you want to protect it. Yeah, that's a thing we've seen in movies before, but protecting it from the inside, becoming one of them, an animal who belongs in nature, understanding their ways, their climates, and their rules. This is a whole different approach, and this movie gets points for going outside the box. We see Mabel be a beaver for majority of the movie, and there's a lot of world building. I did appreciate that, and also the slew of characters we get, all those different animals, they were all delightful, they were all funny, and they were all heartwarming. Mabel is a sweet character when she's a human, or even when she's a beaver, but she is more juvenile than I would think, because she's a 19-year-old in college, and she has more juvenile acts and thoughts I would think a 19-year-old would have. She wants to save her and her grandmother's glade, but at the cost of costing the town a brand new highway to save 4 minutes of driving, and she's doing whatever means necessary to save this glade. A lot of juvenile hot-headedness with this character, and I thought she would get over that, but she kind of does, but I think it took her way longer than this movie should have. For her to realize what she's doing is way over the top and it's just crazy. What happens in the second half of this movie goes so off the rails where I'm like, yeah, this was way over the top. This was caused because of a new highway opening. Was it that worth it in the end? Did we have to go through all this, Mabel? Just to protect this small piece of nature that the animals don't really mess with anymore? There's a story-based reason for it, but the animals aren't in pain or anything. They're chilling, they're fine. It's just this movie doesn't really have much payoff, really. It just shows that common sense is really a thing you need in your life because common sense wouldn't have you be doing all this. But we need a movie and we need to pad up time. I do like the engineering idea of hopping, putting a human consciousness into an animal. They do a lot of that and they have a lot of fun with that. But I feel like that wasn't the idea that they built this movie around, but then proceeded to write a loose plot around that. All the stuff with the animals, all in their world and their rules and their colonies, that had most of the time put into that because you see a lot of different ideas being explored there, but the humans don't do much but spectate, and that's fine, especially when you have your main character's mind go into a robot beaver's head. The movie is very well paced, I'll give it that, and also when we are with Beaver Mabel, when she's hanging out with the Beaver King and the little lizard and the bear and the chill beaver, that's where the story really shines. But you can see Mabel losing herself. She's so into being a beaver and into nature, she forgot she's a human. But I do definitely think this movie got really weak writing. I think little kids will love this a lot and they'll be laughing every 5 minutes. But this one is not for everyone, that's for sure. There's some really funny jokes. The animation is gorgeous. This is really one well lit and great looking movie. But the main story, it may irritate you a bit. I like animals, I love them, but will I really start beef with the mayor who's just trying to better the city? And even if the animals are not even in pain, I can get it if the mayor's corrupt and he's hurting the animals, but he's not doing any of that. It's just weak writing. The humans really hurt this animal story. But I didn't hate it. It's a fine time at the movies, and it's a peaceful movie to watch, I guess. And it has some funny jokes. The animation is great. It's just the main story is just a weird one. The Beaver King explaining to Mabel what pond rules are. We see the nature kings of all the different colonies in nature, really. That was all nice, but they're trying to stop a highway from being built to save a piece of land that no one, not even the animals, even mess with anymore. And then, yeah, it's not that serious, Mabel. My gosh. In the end, guys, Hoppers was just okay. It's a fine movie. Just take your youngins to this. They'll have a nice time, but the parents might want to find a babysitter for this one. If you take the humans out and just make this a full-on animal story, it probably would have been way better. Disney Pixar's Hoppers gets a C.